Right. Let's continue. Alright, so we're loaded into Lothering. And we'll continue where we last left off. Right, so I think there's something that happens here. I don't remember what. After something or other happens once I get up onto the other side of that bridge. So this guy.
As if we needed more fighting here. Don't you see how scared everyone is?
Oh, I see you. Alright. Are you okay? Oh.
Have you seen my mother?
That depends. Who's your mama?
She's really tall, and she has red hair. We live on a big farmhold, all of us. Some mean men with swords came, and Mother told me to run to the village as fast as I could, so I did.
Okay.
She said she'd be right behind me, but I've been waiting and waiting, and I can't see her.
Do you know where your father is?
He went with William to the neighbours yesterday, but he didn't come back.
Oh dear. Okay. Right. Yeah, come with me.
Mother said I wasn't to go with anyone. I'm supposed to wait for her here, in the village.
Okay. Here, take the silver. Buy some food.
Oh, silver! Wow, thank you. So, are you really an elf?
Yeah, why do you ask?
Father says elves aren't very nice, but you're nicer than everybody here. Thank you for helping me.
Alrighty. Okay. Let us venture forth. Okay. Just sitting in the middle of the bridge for no reason. Makes sense.
Did you see?
What's that to say?
Best be careful. Darkspawner. Best be careful.
All right.
Darkspawner coming.
What will happen to us now that the king is dead?
No idea. I'm sorry. Alright.
Got a brother that fell at Ostagar. Hope we're not next.
Well, possible.
I hope more soldiers make it out of Ostagar. So much tragedy.
Elder Miriam?
Thanks for the poultices.
Right, yeah.
They may save something else.
Distant screaming.
Mother says we have to run before the bad men get here.
I would probably recommend it, to be honest. Maybe not on your own. Maybe with other people, maybe. These guys tried to fight us last time. Oh.
Shall we go?
Well, that was a thing that happened. Is this a quest? Journal. Scraping the barrel. Redcliffe. Atogritch in Lothering. I don't remember seeing him anywhere, but I'll go back and have a look in a second. Nope. Lothering, here we go. Enter the board. Infected bears, the north of Lothering, okay. And then I'm looking for a lady, the kid's mum, I guess. Seeing anything here? There's a corpse. Leaving the cloak. Yep. There's the bearers. Those are the bears dealt with. Okay. Just gonna check around the side just in case there's that one guy that we're looking for. Don't know why that guy was nude. I mean, we probably took his armor, but, you know, still. There seems to be a guy back here. There are people up there. Blood mage? What is that? Look at that. Continue.
Let him take notice and shine upon thee, for thou hast done his work this day.
That wasn't that
And
kid.
the stars stood still, the winds did quiet, and all animals of earth and air
Maybe we'll run
held
into
their
her
breath.
later.
All was silent in prayer and thanks.
Oh, okay.
Let each look after his neighbor.
No quest available. Okay.
He will be looked
Will
after
Lothering
in return.
really be the new king? Who else could it be?
It's
Good to see you again, Sister Leliana.
Thank you, Sir Marin.
Never mind.
Make her watch over you.
Okay. Alright. Well. Have a look around, see if we can find this the kid.
Who are you? Can you protect us?
Well, I guess that's my answer.
We were lucky. We had a coin to pay the toll for those bandits. few knights have come through here searching for some holy artifact. Not one of them stopped to help.
Where the sky is. Kill him, maybe?
Hey, what's on now?
Some questions.
Can't promise I'm gonna answer them.
Should go.
Don't let me stop you.
No,
Hey,
oops.
what's on now? Don't let me stop you.
Okay. Maybe it's not a chantry? I haven't been in there since I picked up this quest, so he might be in there. Oh, look. Not 100% sure. Right. That's in there, isn't it?
Yes? What can I do for you?
I have a letter for you from the Blackstone
I knew
Irregulars.
this time would come. I should have listened to my sister. Sure, sign the paper, she said. You'll enjoy some coin now, but they'll be back. I guess I'll see you on the front lines.
Ah, okay, that's how it works. They give you a bit of money. Promising. I guess it's like a loan shark sort of stuff. You get the money, but in return you have a contract that if you're required, they come and collect you. Send someone to collect you like they've done with me. Yeah?
You freed that creature from its cage. Do you honestly?
I see you have returned, sister. I see. Is there something more I can do for you? If the matter is important.
Just checking
Certainly.
if he's got anything. No.
No. Unless there's something else you need.
I should go.
Travel.
Right, let's go.
All right.
Alright.
Delighted.
I've done all the stuff I think I can do here now. Bit of a shame that I couldn't do the quest with the traps, but I wasn't really predicting. Let me check something real quick. Okay, I haven't muted myself, right. Said I was going to have a bit of what did I say last time?
I have
complex
a
about
wonder, Alistair, if you will indulge me.
Oh boy.
Do I have a choice?
Of the two of you that remain, are you not the senior Grey Warden here? I find it curious that you allow another to lead while you follow.
You
Very
find
true.
that curious, do you?
In fact, you defer to a new recruit. Is this the policy of the Grey Wardens, or simply a personal one?
What do you want to hear? That I prefer to follow? I do.
You sound so very defensive.
Couldn't you crawl into a bush somewhere and die? That would be great, thanks.
I'm really liking their snide back and forth. It's enjoyable. Don't mind me. Just making sure I can see stuff. Alright. Okay. That is, see what this Blood Mage stuff is. Up here. I bet that bridge was very pretty at one point. Save it. We're about to leave. I don't know what's up here. So it's a Blood Mage corpse.
Someone help us!
Oh. Do a bit better healing. Oof. Okay, I could probably do with going back to that one guy. Alright. There you guys.
Mighty timely arrival there, my friend. I'm much obliged.
Wasn't trying to... You're welcome.
The name's Bodon Feddick, merchant and entrepreneur. This here is my son, Sandal. Say hello, my boy.
Hello.
Road's been mighty dangerous these days. Mind if I ask what brings you out here? Perhaps we're going the same way.
We're going to save the world. More or less. It's a bit complicated, but you're welcome to come along.
Complicated? Somehow I imagine that only says half of it.
A little
Thank you
bit.
for the offer. There may be more excitement on your path than is good for my boy and me. Allow me to bid you farewell and good fortune.
Goodbye.
Yeah,
Now
that's
then,
true enough.
Let's get this mess cleaned up, shall we?
Fair enough. Right, so... Okay. Should I go back and tell them that there was a... Now, since I have this quest, it's allowing me to go... Is this an indication that I really should go to Redcliffe first? Also got this guy here in Redcliffe. Not here. None of this is for Redcliffe though. That being said, I am in need of healing, so... I'll rush back. Let's see what he's got, and then I'm also going to go into the tavern as well and grab.
Don't suppose you're looking to buy something?
I am indeed.
All right.
Yeah.
Just don't buy everything up.
Okay. Got stamina stuff. Oh, he is bugger all in terms of healing items. Okay. Okay. Alright.
Did you speak to that knight yesterday?
Yeah. Oh, they might also have some for the dwarves. I didn't think to ask them. But that'll be... I've got a new quest. Your new quest? What's going on? Go to the party camp The last time you travelled on the open road, you caught a glimpse of a merchant in the distance. He appears to be following you. Ah, the king's confidant. A confidant. There are rumours that a fellow survivor of Ostagar has escaped the prisons of Bar and Lauren and is seeking the aid of the Grey Wardens. The band's lands lie in the northwest reaches of Banorn. Oh, I don't... Okay.
Maker's blessings upon you, Warden.
But I still don't have food to sell.
That's fine. Do you have medicine? You do. Alright. A good portion of them. Huh? Oh. Yeah, I should buy those as well then. Basic injury repair kit, I'll take that. Lyrium potion recipe? That's a repair. Get that as well. Oh, mage. Nope. So there's stuff I can. Oh, red steel. F5? What is this? This is a longsword. Oh, okay. Get rid of this and this. The mace and the short bow. Oh, this might be for what's his face? I haven't fitted him with any items, have I? Very good idea to have a look at that. Okay. I'm not sure if I need to sell these. You know what? I'm gonna look this up real quick. Yeah, topaz. I am a hoarder, and I know if I don't get rid of them, I'll never get rid of them. So topaz, Dragon Age. Okay. Acquisition. If purchased, they'll be taken away. Noble Expedition, I don't know what that is. Next. In order to increase the available troops. Oh, okay. Alrighty, I'm gonna hope that the camp has storage. What's that? Because so are the dwarves part of the premium content then?
Some fellow in the tavern said that the Darkspawn turned folks into ghouls.
Well, this is kind of the tricky thing with having DLC and stuff, is you're not, and not having played the main game for it, is that you don't know what's premium content, and by that I mean I remember having the dwarves in the camp before, because I think the camp is more or less where I got up to, but I'm not 100%. Look out here. Okay. Not sure why there's a lookout here, but that's alright, that's fine by me. Right. Guess it's time to move on. Yes. we're past Lothering now. Where? I'm gonna go to the camp first. There's probably a crap ton of stuff that I need to do there. I've got a bunch of gifts as well. Flashing lights warning, I guess. Oh, we're in the camp. How about that?
Bad dreams, huh?
Seems surreal.
Well, it is real, sort of. You see, part of being a Grey Warden is being able to hear the Darkspawn. That's what your dream was, hearing them. The Archdemon, it talks to the Horde, and we feel it just as they do. That's why we know this is really a blight.
The Archdemon, is that the dragon?
I don't know if it's really a dragon, but it sure looks like one. But yes, that's the Archdemon. It takes a bit, but eventually you can block the dreams out. Some of the older Grey Wardens say they can understand the Archdemon a bit, but I sure can't. Anyhow, when I heard you thrashing around, I thought I should tell you. It was scary at first for me too.
I'm not frightened.
I screamed like a little girl. Duncan said he thought I had someone in my room. Not embarrassing at all. Anyhow, you're up now, right? Let's pull up camp and get a move on.
I mean, we're at party camp. Did that cow follow us? Where do I do that though? Levi Dryden? Levi Dryden?
To find. Where are my manners? The name is Levi Dryden. Did Duncan ever mention me? Levi of the coins? Levi the trader?
I've never heard of you.
Really? He never told you of old Levi? We've known each other for years.
Oh.
But here I am carrying on while you have a blight to stop. Don't want to waste your time. But you see, Duncan promised that together we'd look into something important for the Wardens. And for me.
Okay.
But poor Duncan's. Well, no more. A tragedy it is, at that. But I know he would want his work carried on. His pledge fulfilled.
Yeah, what promise did he make to you?
My family, well, past a bit checkered to see. Nobles look at us with disdain. My great-great-grandmother, Sophia Dryden, was the last Warden commander of Ferelden back when the Wardens were known as freeloaders. So King Arlen banished the Wardens, and he took House Dryden's land and titles.
What happened next?
Hard to say. After King Arlen died, there was a civil war, loads worse than this one. And our family was on the run, hunted by enemies, with nary a friend in the world. But Drydens are tough. We rebuilt, became merchants, and we never lost our pride.
Surprised you kept your name.
Our family's only crime was guarding the kingdom against the blight. We're not ashamed of that.
Yeah, fair enough. So what favours did you ask of Duncan?
I asked for the truth. My family reveres Sophia Dryden. We know she died at the old Grey Warden base, Soldier's Peak. We want evidence to clear her name. It won't restore our land or our titles, but it'll restore our honour.
I've never even heard of Soldier's Peak.
Well, no one's been to Soldier's Peak since Arlen's days. At least none that's come back. I spent years mapping the maze of tunnels to the peak, and I found the way a few years back. So I went to Duncan, I did, and I said that he could reclaim the old base and my family could have its honour.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. Why didn't Duncan help you?
Darkspawn surfaced in southern Ferelden, and Duncan got plenty busy recruiting new wardens and meeting with good King Cailan. Duncan said he would help after the Battle of Ostergar. Said there might be useful things at the peak, but he never had the chance.
Okay. So, how will reclaiming the peak help the Wardens?
Soldier's Peak is strategic and symbolic importance. Duncan said that it would be worth it right there. He also hoped to recover lost Warden history and perhaps a few old relics. No one knows what's up there now.
Okay. So what do you need from me?
I can pick my way through the tunnels at the base of Soldier's Peak, but the place, well, they say it's haunted. And it'll be dangerous for certain.
Okay.
Will you think on it at least?
Yeah, I'll help you.
1,000 blessings upon you, Warden. I'll mark down the location on your map. When you arrive, we'll pick our way through the tunnels together.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, quite happy to do that. Scan. Right. Let's do general then. Is that premium content as well? I'll just speak. Yeah. Enchantments. Oh. I remember the kid just going like, enchantment?
Ah, it's good to see you, my timely rescuer. Bodon Fennick at your service once again. I saw your camp and remember the kind offer that you made the last time we met. And is there anywhere safer for a poor merchant and his son to sleep? I think not. I'm perfectly willing to offer you a fine discount for the inconvenience of our presence. How does that sound? Good?
That sounds wonderful, yeah. Sure. Free stay? Mind yourselves. Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank the gentleman, won't you, boy?
Thank you, sir.
We won't be a bother to you and your companions, I assure you. If you should need enchantments, simply talk to my boy. Otherwise, come speak with me.
Okay. Let's talk to you.
You and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. It's good to have you along on the road.
So what's your story exactly?
Well, if you're really interested, I suppose it wouldn't hurt to tell you.
Yeah.
I am originally from Orzammar, the famed dwarven city that lies beneath the stately Frostback Mountains. I was a merchant there, too. Merchant caste. These things are in the blood, you know. You can't just leave them behind. I ran a fairly successful business. Rare artifacts, you know. Old things, grand things. The nobles loved them. Reminded them of the lost glory days, I suppose.
Alrighty. Lost Glory?
Our kingdoms once spanned the length of Thados, from majestic Orzammar to Kal Sharok to glittering Darmalin far to the west. They say the gold and silver veins ran so thick through the stone of Darmalin that the entire city sparkled. The Darkspawn took it all, of course. One by one, the old tides fell, and then all that was left was Orzammar. But we were talking about how I ended up here, weren't we? One day, a noble woman came to my store. She looked around for a bit and then started shrieking in dismay. Apparently, she believed that a pair of braces I had for sale once belonged to her brother. He'd been lost in a cave-in, you see, while on an expedition to clear out the Darkspawn from one of the tunnels running close to the city. They were made specially for him. They're unique, she shrieked. He stole them from my poor brother's corpse. She had me arrested on the spot, of course. Nobles, they're touchy like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And did you steal them?
I didn't steal them. You see, I'd been paying these castless thugs to venture out into the deep roads for me. The lost tides. They're full of things that people left behind. Sometimes you can find a treasure. Something worth a little gold.
No, I get it. Yeah, better to do something with them than leave them to rot. Absolutely.
That's exactly how I see it.
Yeah.
The noblewoman, she wasn't too happy with the theft of her brother's braces. I don't know what they planned for me, and I didn't want to find out. Bribed the guard that was watching me and took off for the surface first opportunity I got. Never looked back.
Okay. You're quite lucky to have done so well.
I thank the stone every single day. Now, is there anything the boy or I can get you?
You didn't mention your son in the tale. Yeah.
Ah, yes. I'm married to a fine woman back in Denerim, it's true. She'd give me a son if she could, but that's not likely to ever be. Sandal here. I found him in the deep roads years ago. Abandoned, I think, and he was never quite right in the head. I took him in, and I brought him with me when I came here to the Southern Top. He may not be my blood, true, but I think of him as one.
We left Orzammar.
That's right, boy. Maybe one day we'll see it again.
Blood isn't all
That's
that
how
important.
I've always felt.
Yeah.
As long as he's happy, so am I.
Yeah.
It's not as if I don't benefit, mind you. Turns out the boy's a natural working with enchantments. He might have even been lyrium-addled. I never thought of that before, to be honest.
Oh, is he like
Happens sometimes.
chastened?
He can work an enchantment into just about anything, however, given some time. Could probably open his own shop.
That
if
way
he
he
knew
talks
how.
weird.
Enchantment.
There you go. That's
Well,
yep.
he does seem to enjoy it at least.
Okay. Well, where'd you get these goods from?
Look, we don't rob people, all right? We
No
don't
question
take things
that.
from people that need them. The
Yep.
things in the Lost Tigers, what good did they do lying there? I brought them back to Orzammar, where people could look at them and remember.
I didn't mean
Not all
anything
that
for
different
it,
up
I was just
here.
curious.
There are places long abandoned by the humans everywhere.
Yep.
Even more now with the Darkspawn coming.
I'd be a hypocrite. What do you mean?
People flee from the Blight with good reason, but they forget things. Things with value and meaning. They leave them behind because they're frightened and desperate. And sometimes, my boy and I, we find our way to these places before the Horde descends, and we save these things. I take them away so the Darkspawn don't get them. Is that so bad?
No.
They destroy everything they touch.
No. No. Yeah.
That's what I tell myself, too. Ah, these are dark times indeed.
I'll get it, dude.
Dark
I'll get it.
times, my friend.
Have you heard any rumors?
Some hunters who range into the Brazilian forest say that a Dalish clan there has fallen to some kind of sickness. The Blight, most likely, poor sods. That's what I've heard on the road, anyhow. Take
Yeah.
it for what it is.
Any other rumors?
I'm hearing many tales of corpses clawing out of their graves. All over. Not just people either. Animals too. Just
Wow.
yesterday, a farmer told me about the kitten his daughter had buried behind his barn. Little thing came back to life and crawled up, mewling as loud as you please. His daughter was delighted. At least until it just about chewed her finger off. Strange days, I tell you. That's what I've heard on the road, anyhow. Take it for what it is.
Yeah, that's not fun. What about any more
I've
rumors?
heard a lot of stories of bands of Darkspawn roaming the countryside far north of the Kokori Wilds. They just seem to appear out of nowhere and disappear just as fast.
Using some
That's what
tunnels,
I've heard
maybe.
on the road, anyhow. Take it for what it is.
Making the tunnels, possibly.
It's
Rumors.
said the North Road Inn serves a shepherd's pie containing actual shepherds. Seems the innkeeper has something against the flocks being brought too near his own fields. That's what I've heard on the road, anyhow. Take it for what it is.
Interesting.
There's talk that King
Good thing I don't
Cain
like shepherd's
was
pie.
cheating on the Queen and she found out about it. That's why Tyrn Logain abandoned Caelan at Ostagar. That's what I've heard on the road, anyhow. Take it for what it is.
No, that's not true.
I don't know what to tell you. Nothing I can think of at the moment.
Wonderful. Okay. Let us,
You and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. It's good to have you along on the road.
The wares.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected. And with your discount.
Wonderful. Right, do you have... You do have a backpack, but I can't afford it. God damn it. Okay. Oh. Okay. Okay. That lady's hobble stick. Misty belt. Oh, Rushwell pigeon. Manual ranger. Oh, these I can get for free. Alistair doll. That's that must be a Morrigan gift, right? Okay. So, I mean, he's got some really, really good stuff. Robes. Like, free willpower, lucky, reduces hostility. Do magic. Oh, this is that's just making me sad. I can't afford anything. Let's do. Oh, that's pretty useful. Gonna get all these though. No, don't need those. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna come back to you real quick. Items. No. Here we go. Right. Weapons. Oathkeeper. Right. You can wear heavy chainmail. Give you that. Your heavy chainmail. And your gloves. The helmet. As well. Alright. Okay. Right, I'll have to deal with what I've got so far. I know where to get backpacks now, so there is that. Right, let's do enchantment.
Hello. The boy's a bit simple, but he's rather good with enchantments. One of those tranquil fellas actually called him a... what was it now? A savant. I had no idea such a thing existed.
What enchantments does he do?
He can fold lyrium into almost any weapon or piece of armor, though naturally some of the more extravagant materials will take more lyrium than others.
Okay.
It's a process that some of the master smiths back in Orzammar will perform, but my boy here is just as adept at it. Isn't that right, boy?
Enchantment!
And there you have it.
Yeah.
Oh, certainly, I can do that for you. Just come with me.
Oh, okay. Okay. A dragon, okay. I wonder what's the best way of making gold. Yes, let's do some enchantment. Uh-huh. Oh, and slow. What does it do already? It does... I do... that.
Enchantment? Enchantment!
Okay. Quest complete. Okay. So I guess now I'm gonna go talk to my companions for a little bit, I guess. Yeah. Morrigan, you're all the way over here. Let's have a chat with you.
What do you wish of me?
I'll ask you something.
If you must.
How did you become a shape changer?
I was not born such. 'Tis a skill of Flemeth's, taught over many years in the wilds. The chastened have tales of we witches, saying that we assume the forms of creatures to watch them from hiding. When a child is alone and separate from his tribe, that is when we strike, dragging the young boy kicking and screaming to our lair to be devoured. A most amusing legend.
Your mother has been doing this for a long time then?
Changing her form, certainly. Devouring lost children, I cannot say. She has not done it in my experience, though in truth my lifespan is but a fraction of her own. Why do you ask? Is there something specific you wish to know?
Can you change into other human forms as well?
The form of an animal is different from my own. One may study the creature, learn to move as it does, think as it does. In time, this allows one to become as it is. I gain nothing by studying another human. I already am the same as they are. I learn nothing. So the answer is no, my human form is the only one I possess.
Can anyone become a shapechanger?
Anyone with sufficient will. But the act of transformation is a magical one. 'Tis a spell and thus requires a mage's talents. If you had a notion to learn such a skill for yourself, sadly, you must remain disappointed.
Okay. You spend a lot of time as an animal?
There were nights when the wilds called to me, 'tis true. You look upon the world around you and you think you know it well. I have smelled it as a wolf, listened as a cat, prowled shadows that you never dreamed existed. But my life is as a human. I am under no illusions to the contrary.
There have been Dalish keepers who use similar magic.
Oh? Then I have no doubt your people do much to keep their talents well hidden from humans. I wonder if I was to ask one of your keepers of the origin of their magics, if there would be any relation to what I was taught.
That would be intriguing.
I may even ask my mother about it someday, though I doubt she would tell the truth of it even so. Such is her way.
Probably.
Indeed. Have you an opinion on my abilities, then? Am I an unnatural abomination to be put to the torch?
No. I'd be tied to a flagpole and pickled. That would just make you angry, I think.
No doubt it would. But enough of such talk. Let us proceed, lest the dust gather on us.
Okay.
What do you wish of me? We are in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
We're still here.
I am here because Flemeth commanded me to aid you. Why? Do you wish me to leave? I can do so if you prefer.
You want to leave?
If I wanted to leave, then I would go. I remain, so do not ask such pointless questions.
I mean, fair enough. I didn't mean to do that, but okay.
If you must.
You grow up in the Korkari?
Why do you ask me such questions? I do not probe you for pointless information, do I?
You can probe me anytime, oh boy. I'm curious. What's wrong with that?
Any number of cats could inform you of the answer to that question, but have it your way. What is it you asked? If I grew up in the wilds? A curious question. Where else would you picture me? For many years it was simply Flemeth and I. The wilds and its creatures were more real to me than Flemeth's tales of the world of man. In time, I grew curious. I left the wilds to explore what lay beyond, never for long. Brief forays into a civilized wilderness.
Okay. But you kept going back to the wilds.
Would you not do the same? Your world is an unforgiving and cold place. The wilds
bit,
I
yeah.
hail from is home to me, and I a natural denizen.
I
For
get
all
it,
that
yeah.
I had been taught, however, the truth of the civilized lands proved to be overwhelming. I was unfamiliar with so much. So confident and bold was I, yet there was much that Flemeth could never have prepared me for.
Very daring, that sounds like you.
Equal parts daring and foolhardy, perhaps. Only once was I accused of being a witch of the wilds, and that by a chastened who happened to be travelling with a merchant caravan. He pointed and gasped, and began shouting in his strange language, and most assumed he was casting some curse upon me. I acted the terrified girl, and naturally, he was arrested.
Oh, wonderful. That was quick thinking.
Men are always willing to believe two things about a woman. One, that she is weak, and two, that she finds him attractive. I played the weakling and battered my eyelashes at the captain of the guard. Child's play. The point being that I was able to move through human lands fairly easily. Whatever humans think a witch of the wild looks like, 'tis not I. Not that I did not have trouble. There are things about human society which have always puzzled me, such as the touching. Why all the touching for a simple greeting?
I have no idea.
Do not speak
human.
to me of trivialities. Your culture is not so entirely different. There were many nuances that Flemeth could never tell me of. When to look into another's eyes. How to eat at a table. How to bargain without offending. None of these things I knew. I still do not understand it all, truth be told, but then I gave up long ago any hope of doing so. When I returned to the wilds last, I swore to Flemeth that I had no intention of leaving again.
Well, I'm glad it worked out this way, at least.
Yes? Let's ignore the entire Darkspawn threat and the presence of a simpleton as your only other Grey Warden ally, then. Not that I lack appreciation for the intent of your comment. Thank you. Well, let's get on with it before the ground opens up and swallows us, yes?
Okay, that helped.
What do you wish of me? If you must.
Have you been hunted by the Templar?
You are very cute to ask so many questions.
You don't have to answer the question if you don't want to.
Of course I don't. 'Tis no matter. My mother has been hunted from time to time, yes, by Templar fools like Alistair, which should tell you how successful they generally were. Flemeth made a bit of a game of it, in fact. The Templars would come again, and she would look at me and smile and say that the fun was to begin once more.
Of course. Really had no... Yeah, you really had no trouble with them?
I am unsure. I was too young to understand, and perhaps 'twas bravado on Flemeth's part, or perhaps she was merely amused. I will never know. Flemeth would warn them once. 'Twas a warning they inevitably failed to heed. And then the true game began. Often Flemeth would use me as bait. A little girl to scream and run and lure the Templars deeper into the wilds and to their doom.
Flemeth used you as bait?
'Twas a game, and I a young girl. If I didn't get to play, I would have been very upset. Thankfully, the wilds is a vast
kind of fucked
place.
up, but I get it.
Once they found us, Flemeth would simply move us elsewhere, and we would be lost within the forest once again. I did not understand the danger we faced until I was much older.
Who made the hut,
I
then?
had never heard of apostates or maleficarum.
I mean, she could probably summon it, but... Yeah, honestly, they got what they deserved, to be honest.
Perhaps they did. Still, I do not begrudge them doing what they believe is necessary. The Chantry sees any mages not leashed to the Circle of Magi as apostates, and apostates could become Maleficarum, evil mages that resort to blood magic and become demon-enslaved abominations. It may even be true, still, those of us who prefer freedom see no reason to submit.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree completely.
Oh, I hope you are not simply being agreeable. It would be a refreshing change. Enough of this talk. Let us return to the task at hand.
No, people who want to be left alone should be left alone.
What do you wish of me? If you must.
Is Flemeth what really what
well,
she
that
seems
depends, does it not? What does she seem to be?
I mean, Malefica? She probably is. Human.
Oh, she certainly was human. Once. Tell me, how much do you know of the tale? The one that the chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten them into obedience.
I'm more interested in the truth.
I can relay what Flemeth once told me herself, and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire.
That sounds interesting.
As the tale is sung by the bards, there was a time when Flemeth was young and beautiful. A fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her.
I bet.
Many centuries before this land was even named Ferelden. The tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the Bard and fled the castle of her husband, the dread Lord Conobar, and that he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, my mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conobar the jealous lord who looked on from afar. Lord Conobar approached young Osen and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife. And Osen agreed.
Okay.
The life of a bard is a poor one, and love fades in the wake of hunger. 'Twas Flemeth who suggested the arrangement. All would have been well had Lord Conobar kept his end of the bargain. But he was a foul man who bargained with coin he did not possess. Osen was led off to a field and slain, left for dead. Flemeth spoke to the spirits and learned of the deed, and swore revenge.
So she truly loved Osen then? That's free.
That was not the point. Conobar had no honor, so she would not have him. Flemeth begged the spirits to aid her, and 'twas they who slew Conobar. The demon the legend tells of came later. Lord Conobar's allies chased Flemeth, you see. Chased her to the wilds, and there she hid. There she found the demon, and he made her strong. The legends all speak of the great hero Cormac, he who defeated Flemeth and her great army when she invaded the lowlands centuries later. All lies.
Which she never invaded, or he never defeated her?
The truth of the matter is that there was never an invasion. As Flemeth tells it, the Chastened never raised an army under her banner, and she never fought with any warrior named Cormac. Cormac led a brutal civil war against his own people, and later claimed it was to vanquish evil that had taken root amongst the lords. Thus, he was hailed a hero. Flemeth was only attached to the legend much later. Perhaps 'twas due to the great war with the Chastened that eventually came, but Mother claims not to know how it began.
I have a whole bunch of questions. The legend tells of Flemeth having many daughters.
You ask if I have sisters. I have asked of this myself. The stories tell of many witches of the wilds after all, not just the one. And these tales existed long before I did. Flemeth refuses to speak of other daughters, if they existed. So, should I believe I am her first? I doubt that too.
Yeah, she's been around far too long to not have had any daughters by birth or by adoption. Yeah. How is it, Flemeth? Why would she refuse to speak to them?
The Chastened tell of a falling out between Flemeth and her daughters. They say that one day she hunted them all through the wilds and ate their hearts. It may be true. I have never seen another witch or heard of one. Perhaps one day Flemeth will eat my heart as well.
Huh. It'd be more metaphorical. Maybe they fell in love and Flemeth ate their husbands. Do you believe? How is it that Flemeth has survived that long?
The demon within her has transformed her into something else. An abomination, perhaps some would say. I know not. I only know my mother is clever, and she is part of the wilds as it is part of her. But she is no immortal. She bleeds. A blade in her heart would kill her like any other, were it lucky enough to find her.
Aren't abominations usually insane horrors?
How often is this usually? Always? If not always, then when is it not true? There are more things in this world and the next than you or I could ever hope to understand. What Flemeth became is a mystery. I suspect, even to her.
Yeah, that's... yeah. Do you believe her version?
I do not believe everything that Flemeth claims. Oft it seems her bitterness has coloured her memories. But on the whole, yes,
yeah.
I believe this tale, if not all.
Alright, an interesting story, yeah, thanks.
Flemeth tells it with far more embellishment than I, but
bet she does.
You are welcome. Dare I ask of your own mother? Few are abominations of legend, 'tis true, but I find myself curious nevertheless.
Yeah. I love her. What else do you want to know?
Nothing. I wish to know nothing more. I find myself a little envious, to tell the truth. But it matters not. Let us move on.
I think you love Flemeth in your own way, right?
What do you wish of me? If you must.
Can you teach others to become shapeshifters?
Possibly, if I had the desire to. I do not.
Why not?
I was told to accompany you and to help you, and that I shall.
Okay.
This may extend to the teaching of my mother's skills in time. For now, I simply do not know you well enough. I promise nothing.
Fair enough. Figured I would ask anyway. Is there anything else?
What do you wish of me?
We
are in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
No. Okay, how do I use the gifts? Alright, where's my gifts? Okay, so... Ultra Merchant, Tribal Necklace, I'm not sure. I think this would, though.
What do you wish of me? If you must.
Okay, never mind. Yes. I'm gonna look it up. I'll try not to Google everything, but there's some things that I'm just not sure of. How to use GIFs. That was horrible. How to use GIFs in Dragon Knight. Open your inventory. Oh, okay. So just navigate to them here. Scroll down to the gifts.
A fine gift. You have my thanks.
Okay. One necklace.
A fine gift. You have my thanks.
Okay. Let's let Liliana. Let's give her this celebration.
Oh, how dear of you. Thank you so much.
What's this? And is by the drop contact likely inevitable? Battlefield spirits. Asta maybe?
Is that for me? Really? Wow. Wow.
Okay. Now let's see if I... Look to you, Stan.
Why are we stopping?
We're working together. I think I should get to know you.
There are darkspawn to be fought. Is this delay needful?
I've never seen a Kunari before. Tell me about your people. Please?
People are not simple. They cannot be summarized for easy reference in the manner of the elves are a lithe, pointy-eared people who excel at poverty.
That's a sick burn, though. You said you were in the army?
I am.
Have you ever fought in a war?
I have always fought in war, elf.
You did say that. Say something along those lines at least. So you must know your way around a battlefield then.
Some of them. They aren't all alike.
That's probably real fair. What made you decide to become a soldier?
Decide? I am a Sten of the Beresad. I did not choose to be who I am any more than you did.
A Sten of Beresad? Why would the Kunari send soldiers here?
The Antam are the eyes, hands, and mouth of the Kunari. We are how my people know the world.
You're telling us about your people. Doesn't that make your view of things a little skewed?
Compared to what?
You only learn about people that you conquer.
What does anyone truly know of the world? The world changes. We change. The Antam
well, if you
observe
fail,
what
then
we
you
can,
don't
just
learn
as you
anything. Never mind, I have some more questions.
There is no point to this. We are keeping the Darkspawn waiting.
Are you alright? You were in that cage for weeks.
You are concerned. No need. I am fit enough to fight.
We should get moving then.
As you wish.
Okay, right. Go bother Liliana. Liliana?
Yes?
Still struggling a bit with her name. I'd like to talk.
Well, here I am.
That vision of yours.
I knew this would come up sooner or later.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain, but I had a dream. In it, there was an impenetrable darkness. It was so dense, so real. And there was a noise, a terrible, ungodly noise.
Like a roar of a
I stood
dragon?
on a peak and watched as the darkness consumed everything. And when the storm swallowed the last of the sun's light, I fell. And the darkness drew me in.
Ooh. You dreamed of the Blight?
I suppose I did. That was what the darkness was, no? When I
Possibly.
woke, I went to the Chantry's gardens, as I always do. But that day, the rosebush in the corner had flowered. Everyone knew that bush was dead. It was grey and twisted and gnarled, the ugliest thing you ever saw. But there it was, a single beautiful rose. It was as though the Maker stretched out his hand to say, even in the midst of this darkness, there is hope and beauty. Have faith.
And this made you want to help me?
In my dream, I fell. Or maybe I jumped. I'd do anything to stop the Blight. I know that we can do it. There are so many good things in the Maker's world. How can I sit by while the Blight devours everything?
Gotta get it. Yeah, I couldn't sit by either.
That is why you're a Grey Warden. Come, there's a Blight to stop.
All? Is that all you had to say?
Yes?
I'd like to talk.
Well, here I am.
What was life
Quiet.
like in the Chantry?
It was a life suited for contemplation. In the cloister, away from the fuss and the flurry of the cities, I found peace. And in that stillness, I could hear the Maker. But it was not perfect. Some of my Chantry fellows were condescending. That is the nature of religious folk, I suppose.
It can be. Condescending? How so?
When I talked about my beliefs, that the Maker reveals himself in the beauty of his world, they treated me with disdain. They want to believe that he's gone, so that when he turns his gaze on them, it means they are special, chosen. He cannot possibly have love for all, the sick and the weary, the beggars and the fools.
Yeah. That's how a lot of religious folks tend to be, I'm afraid. I mean, yeah, I prefer your ideas.
Thank you. Maybe I am wrong. But it is the Maker's place to decide if I am worthy, not men, not the Chantry. But there is work to be done, and I have talked enough for now.
You have not. I will continue to talk to you.
Yes?
I'd like to talk.
Well, here I am.
What was someone like you be doing in Lothering's Chantry?
What is meant by someone like me?
Sanctimonious preaching. No. You don't seem like you belong in that cloister.
Did you think I was always a cloistered sister? The Chantry provides succor and safe harbor to all who seek it. I chose to stay and become affirmed.
What did you do before that?
I was a traveling minstrel in Orlais. Tales and songs were my life. I performed, and they rewarded me with applause and coin. And my skill in battle? Well, you pick up different skills when you travel, yes?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. Let's move on.
Really? That was,
Yes? Well, here I am.
You're a traveling minstrel show. Any tales?
Of course I do. I love stories far too much to keep them to myself. Everyone should be able to benefit from them, I think.
They should, yeah. Tell me about the Darkspawn.
Chantry law says it is man's pride that created the Darkspawn.
Yeah, it's always...
In ages past, the mages of the
people's faults,
Tevinder
isn't it?
Imperium ruled much of the world we know. In their pride, they thought their magics invincible and imagined that they were greater than the Maker himself. So thinking, they invaded his golden city, planning to take it for themselves and depose their own creator. But they were impure and full of sin. And it is with the sin that they tainted the golden city, corrupting it forever. the Maker cursed them and cast them from his sight. Wherever they went, they spread the taint of their sin. Any land that was touched by the taint became blighted and would suffer no life. Instead, the Darkspawn arose to torment us and remind us of our hubris.
That sounds like bullshit. What about Ole?
Of course, Orlesians enjoy telling stories. I shall tell you my favorite tale of Aveline, the Knight of Ole.
Yeah, go ahead.
A long time ago, a girl child was born to a farmer. He had hoped for a son, not a daughter, and so he told his wife to abandon the child in the woods. Before the cold could claim her, the baby was found by a tribe of Dalish elves who took pity on the poor mewling thing and raised her as their own. Aveline, for that is what they called her, grew strong and quick and clever under the guidance of the elves. She learned to wield the sword as well as any man, could kill a deer with an arrow at 100 paces, and was as graceful on the back of a horse as she was on foot.
Yeah, continue please.
Aveline's Dalish guardians saw that she could easily best any Orlesian chevalier in battle, and wanted to show the cruel humans the child they had left to die. They bestowed upon her a fine horse and armor, and sent her to prove herself to her people in the grand tourney. Now in those days, no woman was allowed to take up arms, let alone compete in the grand tourney, but Aveline kept her helmet on and was not discovered.
Did she win the tourney?
Aveline won many events and gained the approval of the adoring crowd. Eventually, she came face to face with the knight Kaleva in the grand melee. Aveline had already bested him in the joust, and Kaleva was determined not to lose a second time. Out of desperation to regain his honor, Kaleva tripped Aveline and tossed her to the ground, ripping off her helmet as he did so. Silence fell upon the arena as Aveline was revealed. Kaleva declared the previous competitions invalid. A woman had taken part, and this was not allowed. But the crowd cheered for Aveline. Kaleva was furious, for he had lost to a woman and was now being shamed. Blinded by his rage, he forced Aveline to her knees. "Know your place, woman," cried he, and slit her throat.
Okay, that was terrible. I was hoping for
The
a
son of
happy
the
ending.
king, Prince Freyan, was present. He recognized Aveline's skill and bravery and began to see the injustice done to the women in his land. When he was made king, he rewrote the laws of Ole so that women could also become chevalier. He honored Aveline and knighted her after her death. And to this day, any female who is knighted reveres Aveline the Brave, for she is the patron of all women chevalier.
What about Ferelden Legends?
I know one, told to me by my mother a long time ago. It always chilled me to the bone. Maybe you have heard of Flemeth?
Yeah, I've met Flemeth.
Are you sure? Was she the Flemeth of legend? Flemeth, the devourer of men?
It's a pretty good title.
Mother of witches. Flemeth, demon-touched, who dwells in the mists.
She just looked like your average old woman.
Well, if Flemeth really exists, she would be very, very old indeed. Ferelden mothers scare their daughters with talk of Flemeth. They say that if you're bad, Flemeth will spirit you away and bind you to her forever. They also say that Flemeth mourns her lost beauty and will steal yours through your looking glass if she catches you.
Tell me the whole story.
Flemeth's beauty was known throughout the land. She had hair like unto a moonless night, skin as pale as winter's first snow, and eyes as beautiful and perilous as the sea. When she came of age, she came to the attention of the Lord of Highever, Conobar, and he took her for his wife. Conobar soon learned that his young bride had the gift of magic. He kept this a secret, for he feared that she would be taken from him. Flemeth stayed with Conobar for some years, and with his blessing, she practiced her art. And then one day, a young poet named Osen came to the castle. Flemeth was captivated by Osen's voice, and he by her beauty, and they fell in love.
It's kind of romantic, I guess.
Flemeth longed to be with her true love, and she and Osen fled from Conobar's lands, seeking refuge in the Kokari wilds with the Chasing tribes. They lived there happily for many a year, till the day Flemeth received news that Conobar was dying and longed to see her face one last time. Flemeth's heart swelled with pity for the man who once was her husband, and begged Osen to return to Conobar's side with her.
Yeah, that's
but when
the BS
Flemeth
line
and
there.
Osen entered Highever, they were captured by Conobar's men, and Osen was slain in front of Flemeth's eyes. Flemeth was imprisoned in the highest tower of the castle, there to await Conobar's judgment on her. Distraught at the loss of her love, Flemeth plotted revenge against her husband. She summoned a fey demon, intending for it to wreak vengeance on Conobar. But a spell went awry. The demon possessed Flemeth. Turning her into an abomination, the halls of the castle ran red with blood as Flemeth slaughtered Conobar and all his men. The last of Flemeth's humanity melted away, and at dawn, she stole back to the wilds to plot and scheme for 100 years. They say she took to her side many Chasing men, and with their help, begat her daughter witches, who even now prowl the dark places of the Kokari wilds.
Interesting. Yeah, there's another story I wanted to hear.
Which one?
Do you know anything about the Dalish?
I know a little about your people, but I may be misinformed, and I would hate to offend you.
That is why we must learn more about each other.
I have heard a little about how the elves gained their freedom from the Tevinter Imperium. When Andraste began her exalted march against the Imperium, the elves joined her cause to fight their masters. The great elven leader, Shatan, born in captivity, rose up to lead his people. He foresaw a future where the elves were free. Shatan was killed when Andraste was betrayed, but the elves continued to fight, eventually breaking free of the Imperium. The elves claimed the Dales in the south and settled there in the land of their own.
It didn't last.
The elves lived in the Dales for centuries. They resurrected the worship of the elven gods and would allow the building of no chantry. This angered the chantry, and the hostility between the two factions finally broke out in open war. The chantry says the elves struck first, but I do not know whether to believe it. The chantry declared a wholly exalted march against the elves, named for Andraste's similar march against Tevinter. During the exalted march of the Dales, the elven cities were sacked, and the elven state completely dissolved. Some of the elves bitterly accepted their fates and surrendered to human rule, living in the human cities as second-class citizens. But others, still fiercely proud of their heritage, refused to bow to the humans, and instead became homeless wanderers. They were the elves of the Dales, the Dalish.
What do you know about Andraste?
Andraste was the Maker's chosen. The Maker had long since abandoned the world when the sound of her singing turned his ear. Beauty, grace, and wisdom enraptured him, and he offered to take her from this flawed world to become his divine bride. But Andraste had an earthly husband and would not forsake him. Instead, she beseeched the Maker to return to his people once more. So earnest was her plea that the Maker was moved, and promised that he would create a paradise on earth if all abandoned their false gods and turned once more to him. And this is why Andraste began her exalted march on the idolaters of the Tevinter Imperium. The Maker granted her his powers with which to smite her enemies. Andraste brought the Imperium to its knees, and her victories converted many to the worship of the Maker.
That's always a bit concerning. How did Andraste die?
Alas, it was the frailties of men that betrayed and killed Andraste. Her earthly husband, Maferath, a chieftain of the Alamari tribes himself, grew jealous as his wife's popularity and influence overshadowed his own. She was also revered as the Maker's betrothed, and Maferath began to see their own bond waning in significance as Andraste became ever more devoted to the Maker. Out of envy and spite, Maferath made a pact with the Archon Hysarian of Tevinter, allowing his beloved Andraste to be ambushed and captured. Andraste was burned at the stake in Minrathous, the capital of Tevinter.
Why would the Maker not save her with his power?
I have thought on this too. Did he withdraw his sight from her at that moment? Where were all the powers he bestowed upon her?
Or was he working in mysterious ways?
This question has come to me many times, and I have no answer. Perhaps there was no way for Andraste to return to the Maker but through her death. We will never know for sure.
Seems a bit selfish. Okay, let's move on. Okay, let's talk to Doggy.
Oh, why, you little...
Did you just jump at the sight of your own shadow again?
Oh, you're so funny. Such rapier wit. Your furry friend here took offence at me getting near his food. He snapped at me. Look.
Oh. You could have taken the hand off.
Don't you think I don't know it? Sometimes I forget that he's a war dog. That'll teach me. I once heard a really old legend about how the Hound warriors in the days of the old tribes would feed their Mabari the flesh of the vanquished.
I can't believe it.
Well, that's what I heard anyway. It would sometimes be human flesh.
Yeah, they probably, yeah, I bet they can.
Like you can tell the difference. For all you know, maybe you've already been fed something. Someone.
Alistair. I don't know if he'd do another human being.
It's not cannibalism if he's eating it, you know.
Huh.
Look at what your fool dog placed in my pack.
He likes you.
A putrid, half-eaten hare is not something a woman wants to find in her unmentionables.
Oh, okay.
The dirty mongrel can have this back. There. And tell him not to do it again. I just did. I don't want it, you worthless fur bag.
He likes you, Morrigan.
Oh, he's just trying to be manipulative, I can tell. I do it too.
Okay.
You are a true warrior and worthy of respect.
Oh. Trying to find a way through the earth, are we? Okay. Gonna take some time, you know. Good luck with that, then. Yep. Chopping on his claws up. Alright. Yeah, let's put him. You can pet the dog. 10 out of 10. Nice. Alrighty. We'll come back to you at some point soon, I guess, Clarence. Alright. Bless there.
What do you need?
Do you want to talk about Duncan?
You don't have to do that. I know you didn't know him as long as I did.
He was like a father to you, I understand.
I should have handled it better.
No?
Duncan warned me right from the beginning that
You handled it as well as you could.
any of us could die in battle. I shouldn't have lost it, not when so much is riding on us, not with the blight and everything.
You need
sorry.
time to grieve. Yeah, there's no need to apologize.
I'd like to have a proper funeral for him. Maybe once this is all done, if he's still alive. I don't think he had any family to speak of.
He had you.
I suppose he did. It probably sounds stupid, but part of me wishes I was with him, in the battle.
Yeah.
I feel like I abandoned him.
I bet it. He saved your life by sending you to the tower.
I know. I think he came from High Ever, or so he said. Maybe I'll go up there sometime. See about putting up something in his honor. I don't know. The Dalish don't practice cremation, do they? How do your people honor your dead?
We bury them and plant a tree over their remains.
That sounds quite beautiful.
Yeah.
Life springing from death.
It's probably how I want to go, to be honest.
Really, I mean it. It was good to talk about it, at least a little.
Maybe I'll go to High Ever with you. You go.
I'd like that. So would he, I think.
Yeah. We can go. If nothing else, he brought us together.
What do you need?
I'd like to ask something.
Ask away.
What can a Templar do
Essentially,
exactly?
they're trained to fight. The Chantry would tell you that the Templars exist simply to defend.
I'm
surprised.
Defend
Beyond
and prosecute, probably.
The other main
Or
purpose
persecute.
for a Templar is, of course, to
better.
hunt mages. To that end, we train in talents that drain mana and disrupt spells.
So couldn't others learn these talents?
Perhaps, but there usually isn't much of an opportunity. The Chantry keeps a close rein on its Templars. We are given lyrium to help develop our magical talents, you see. Which means we become addicted. And since the Chantry controls the lyrium trade with the dwarves, well, I'm sure you can put two and two together.
Yeah.
Thankfully, no. You only start receiving lyrium once you've taken your vows. You don't need lyrium in order to learn the Templar talents. Lyrium just makes Templars' talents more effective. Or so I was told. Maybe it doesn't even do that. The Chantry usually doesn't let their Templars get away either, so they can spread their secrets. I'm a bit of an exception. Lucky me.
Fair enough.
What do you need? Ask away.
Remember the Grey Wardens?
Such as they are.
Where are the nearest Grey Wardens?
That's a good question. There's plenty in Orlais, but who knows where they might be found. And the nearest Orlesian city is weeks away. If we go north and cross the sea, there's bound to be some in the Free Marches. Again, however, I just don't know where. I don't know anything about Grey Wardens in other lands.
Okay. Is the headquarters somewhere?
Here in Ferelden, there's our compound in Denerim at the palace, but that's it. Loghain will have control over that and be watching it, no doubt.
Yeah.
Beyond that, the only place I know of is Weishaupt Fortress. That's the headquarters of all Grey Wardens in the Anderfelds, 1,000 miles from here.
Oh,
I have
wow.
no idea how to even contact them. So unless we try to get back to the compound in Denerim, I suppose the answer is no. There's nowhere for us to go.
Oh, thankfully for premium content, we do have the place to go. What happens now there's just two of us?
I imagine that eventually the Grey Wardens outside of Ferelden will wonder what's happened. Why there's no contact from Duncan or someone. They'll send someone eventually. Though who knows what Logain's people in Denerim will tell them. Maybe they won't send anyone. We could try to contact them. But that would mean leaving Ferelden, and even if we did, they couldn't come back with us in time to stop the Blight.
Yeah.
So that means whatever happens, it's up to us.
We'll need to start rebuilding the Order.
Eventually we would have to use the joining to make more Grey Wardens, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know how to do the joining, or what's involved. I know it involves lyrium and some other magic, and that it's really difficult to prepare, but that's it. Unless we can find out more about the joining, I guess we better get used to the idea that there might only be 2 of us for now. Until more come from elsewhere.
Yeah. What happens if we just left?
Just left? You mean just left Ferelden?
Yeah, book it off.
I don't know. If there's an Archdemon, however, we're supposed to be the only ones who can defeat it. And that means the Blight would grow unchecked. Eventually, other Grey Wardens in Orlais and other lands would hear about it, and they would come to fight it, but they wouldn't come in time to save Ferelden. There's no way. I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, fair enough.
About the Grey Wardens, anyhow. Fair enough. What do you need?
I'd like to ask you something.
Ask away.
So, yeah, how did you become a Grey Warden?
Same way you did. You drink some blood, you choke on it,
No,
you pass out.
that's not what I meant.
You haven't forgotten already, have you?
I meant before that.
Let's see, I was in the Chantry before. I trained for many years to become a Templar, in fact. That's where I learned most of my skills.
You don't seem religious.
You're telling me I was banished to the kitchens to scour the pots more times than I can count. And that's a lot. I can count pretty high. The Grand Cleric didn't want to let me go. Duncan was forced to conscript me, actually, and was she ever furious when he did. I thought she was going to have us both arrested. I was lucky.
Why did the Grand Cleric want to keep you?
I wondered that myself. It's not as if she valued me highly. I think she just didn't want to give anything to the Grey Wardens, is all. The Chantry didn't lose much. And I think I can do more fighting the Blight anyhow, rather than sitting in a temple somewhere. I'll always be thankful to Duncan for recruiting me. If it hadn't been for him, you know, I wouldn't have.
He was a good man.
He was. A good man who didn't deserve his fate. That much I'm sure of. Come on, let's go. I think I'm done talking.
Enough.
What do you need?
I wanted to ask you something.
Away.
You said you were raised by the Chantry?
Did I say that? I meant that dogs raised me. Giant slobbering dogs from the Anderfells. A whole pack of them, in fact. Well, they were flying dogs, you see. Surprisingly strict parents, too. And devout Andrastians to boot.
Ah.
Or did I dream all of that? Funny the dreams you'll have when you sleep on a cold, hard ground, isn't it?
I dream of becoming a Grey Warden. Oh wait.
Point taken. Let's see, how do I explain this? I'm a bastard. And before you make any smart comments, I mean the fatherless kind. My mother was a serving girl in Redcliffe Castle who died when I was very young. Archdemon wasn't my father, but he took me in anyhow and put a roof over my head. He was good to me, and he didn't have to be. I respect the man, and I don't blame him anymore for sending me off to the Chantry once I was old enough.
Do you know who is?
I know who I was told was my father. He died even before my mother did, anyhow. It isn't important. Archdemon eventually married a young woman from Orlais, which caused all sorts of problems between him and the king because it was so soon after the war. But he loved her. Anyhow, then you, Arlessa, resented the rumors which pegged me as his bastard. They weren't true, but of course they existed. The Jarl didn't care, but she did. So off I was packed to the nearest monastery at age 10, just as well. The Arlessa made sure the castle wasn't a home to me by that point. She despised me.
Yeah, what an awful thing to do to a child.
Maybe. She felt threatened by my presence, I can see that now. I can't say I blame her. She wondered if the rumors were true herself, I bet. I remember I had an amulet with Andraste's holy symbol on it. The only thing I had of my mother's. I was so furious at being sent away, I tore it off and threw it at the wall and it shattered. Stupid, stupid thing to do. The Jarl came by the monastery a few times to see how I was, but I was stubborn. I hated it there, and blamed him for everything. And eventually, he just stopped coming.
You were young.
And raised
Your
by
fault.
dogs. Or I may as well have been, the way I acted. But maybe all young bastards act like that. I don't know.
Some of
All
them,
I
at
know
least,
is
yeah.
that the Jarl is a good man, and well loved by the people. He also was King Kaelin's uncle, so he has a personal motivation to see Loghain pay for what he did. Anyway, that's really all there is to the story.
Fair enough. Right, codex updated. Ah. We may find out what that's about soon enough, maybe. Alright, I'm gonna save it here. I'm not quitting just yet, but I've done an awful lot here, and I don't want to risk it crashing. Alright. Yeah. Alistair.
Yes.
Stern.
Indeed.
Liliana. Right. Okay. So we're more or less around here somewhere. So we've got Lake Callahan Docks. We have Van Lauren's Lands. We have Sulcher's Pass, Redcliffe Village, Prospect Mountains, Rogers Peak, and Denerim. Okay, so Denerim, not a good place to go to. Let's fix it out here real quick. Go to journal. So we have 4 places to go to. Now, on the notes. Okay. We are coming up on the 2-hour mark. Just roughly about when I want to start ending these episodes, I guess. So let's figure out where we want to go, and then once we go there, we'll do a little bit and find a good stopping point. And then we'll pause for this part. Right, so Redcliffe is one of them. Which is probably where I want to go next. There's a paragon of her kind. Aldama. Aldama. Don't know if we know how to get there yet. The Dalish Elves. Dalish Elves. And then the Broken Circle. So, the Circle Tower is located on the lake Alan has. Okay. Okay. Blackstone Irregulars, we've got something in Redcliffe. and Denarims. We won't go to Denerim yet. Calenhad, so that'll be the Circle of Magi. There's Denerim again. The Frostback Mountains. I think the Frostback Mountains are where the dwarves are. I remember that being mentioned. I'm gonna note that down as well. Mountains. But right, Kakari Wilds. We have the Last Will and Testament, Redcliffe. And we have Van Lauren's Lands. Levy. Take you through the maze of tunnels that leads to an old Grey Warden's base. Rogers Peak. And then Soldiers Pass. What I'm actually going to do. I'm going to see if there's any sort of recommendations, because Dragon Age, Origins, app, best friend. Let's see. Mage Tower should be done first. Right, yeah, because we're going to get win. Alrighty. Let's go to the circle first, I guess. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So we'll go the circle, then to Redcliffe, then to the Daily Shells, and then to Orzam. Or Zama. Right, okay. That's Alistair.
Yes.
Alistair.
Yes.
Liliana. Bringing a Templar into the... Oh. And Morrigan would also be a bit of a tricky situation in that regard, too. Yeah, so Lake Canal had docks. Redcliffe Castle. Yeah, I think that's where the elves are. Yeah, that's where the elves are. So yeah, let's go to the docks. Probably going to get attacked at some point. No? Made it all the way to the docks without being attacked? Well, hell.
Were you really in that cage for 20 days?
It might have been closer to 30. I stopped counting after a while.
What did you do? I mean, 20 days is a long time to sit in one place and do nothing.
On good days, I posed riddles to the passers-by, offering them treasures in exchange for correct answers.
Really?
No.
Aw, too bad. That's got serious potential.
Yeah, it kind of has.
You ever wonder why the mages built their tower out in the middle of Lake Calenhad? They have an aversion to practicality or something?
Greetings to you.
Alright. Shady Fog. Somehow.
What business would the mighty Grey Wardens have with a man like me?
I'm here on behalf of the Blackstone Regulators.
Oh? What is this about?
I hear you stole supplies from the guild.
I worried this might happen. I hoped it wouldn't be you who came for me. I have no choice. Forgive me, Warden, but I cannot go back with you.
Right. Okay. Well, hell. Okay.
And so I shall. Of course.
I just collective liaison? There's something over here at least. Right. Gusta.
Wow, I've never seen one of you knife-ears dressed like the King of Ferelden before. You made good for yourself, eh?
Excuse me?
Oh, I don't mean no offense. I know I shoot my mouth off. I'm just not used to your kind, trussed up all fancy.
Have you met many of my kind?
Oh, there I go again. I don't mean nothing by it. I swear I should start over. I'm mighty pleased to be making your acquaintance, sir.
There we go. Much better.
Mocking? No, I was just saying it's nice to meet someone such as yourself. I'm the ferryman. Leastwise, I used to be. Poor old Kester. Out of a job.
Did they fight? Why?
I don't got a clue. They wouldn't tell me. Gregor just came down and said, "Don't you worry, Kester, we got it all under control, we do." Didn't say nothing else. And then he puts Carol in charge of my boat. Lissy, named for my grandmum she was. He's Knight Commander of the Templars up in the tower. Good man.
Okay. So there's something
I told you,
there at the time?
they didn't tell me nothing. And if I know they're mages, I'm better off keeping out of their business. If I had to guess, I'd guess it had to do with magic. But the tower's always got something to do with magic.
Yeah. Is there no way to
You could try swimming, but I don't recommend it. Nasty things in that lake.
Yeah.
And it's all them potions they dump in there. Gregor's told me to stay here till it blows over, but I'm telling you, some storms don't blow over easy.
I could convince
Maybe
the
you
Templars to
could
let me
at
in.
that. I'm sure your mind's all afire now, eh?
What's your opinions on this?
I reckon it's good for them mages. Gather them all, learn them some proper magics. I know
Good
what they say
target as
about
well.
mages, but the Maker made them for a purpose. If you can't trust him, who can you trust?
Do you know the Knight Commander well?
Oh, I can't say that. I'm lucky he's good enough to give me the time of day. The first enchanter's all right. He's polite as can be, but he's always a little distant, if you get my drift. But Gregor'll stay to talk. I reckon he likes hearing from us common folk, you know? He's a man to be respected, that Gregor.
Yes. Can't say
All right. Keep safe, you hear?
Try and be a little less racist from now on.
As you desire.
You're the Grey Warden, aren't you? Exactly who I was hoping to meet. I
Why?
represent a collective of mages interested in going about their lives without the constant scrutiny of the Chantry.
Okay. Okay,
Next to me, and in every major settlement, you will find an inconspicuous sack containing requests from mages all over the land who need the assistance of someone skillful and discreet.
Okay. I'll take a look at these
Thank you, my
requests.
friend. We have agents in every major settlement to reward you for work done on behalf of the collective. Makers smile upon you.
Okay. Look at what I got. Basis of power. Give me an my power is waning. I Rebulash of the epithet. No, sorry, Crabulus the epithet. Acquire a reconnection to the mystic places I have left behind. You, the bearer of this note, shall travel to these places and trace upon them my personal glyphs, claiming their eldritch energies for my own. You will come upon sites of mystical power in ancient places of the world. Brazilian forest, the deep roads, the heart of Denerim, and near the base of the Circle Tower. Okay. Do that, that's not a problem. Careless accusations. The activities of the Maleficarium on my doorstep did not go unnoticed, and now I'm in danger of being brought before the Templars myself. A small band of drifters claim to have seen me practicing forbidden arts, and have left to deliver the testimonies of my alleged deeds to the Chantry. Ask Mages Collective to find and stop these false witnesses by any means necessary. They were travelling along the road from Lothering to Denerim, where their lies will seal my fate. Okay. Notice of termination. There comes a time when each young mage's life that he must strike forth from beneath the shadow of his mentor. For my 3 young and unremarkable apprentices, this time is now. Oh boy. He who accepts this calling takes it upon himself to deliver the documents of congratulations to my apprentices, who will no doubt be uninformed as to the contents of the misstep. He's firing. The apprentices' names are Starrick, Alina, and Chef. I've only sent them away from my abode so that they may receive this information in a public place, thus guaranteeing my safety of my willing courier. You will find 2 of them in Denerim. The other one is recurring, a slightly rarer item from Ozma. And be sensitive, I would not wish harm upon their delicate feelings. He can't fire them himself, so he's getting me to do it for him. Okay. My worst fears have been realized. A band of devilish Maleficarium are performing their profane rituals within close proximity to my own sanctum. This cannot stand. I, Jabasto, charge he who accepts this request to destroy the fiends before their evil brings unwanted attention from either Templars or demons to my back door. Travel to the Basilarian forest to slay these blasphemers. Okay. Double magic. Disaster. So consumed as have I been in my personal projects that I have neglected to collect vital components of the herbal remedy I used to sharpen my mind for thoughts of the other world. Okay. Without it, I am ruined. Ruined! I will humbly reward any who bring me 10 bundles of deep mushrooms. With this, I can continue my quest for a clear mind, fewer bouts of drowsiness and indigestion. May he who accepts this request be showered in riches and love from Maker's heart for this noble and selfless act. This is literally my salvation. Oh, okay, he's asking for magic mushrooms. Alrighty then. Yeah, yeah. Right, let's go in here. This is... oh, it's tavern. Okay. We'll have a look at the tavern, and yeah, that's when we'll end in the tavern, once I've had a chat with everybody. Good place to, you know, wrap it all up. Righty. Oh, never mind it. I thought it was like this, the tiny room there. I was like, very, very confused. Alright. Shady patron.
What are you looking at?
Scruntled patron. Laranda. Oh, this is a...
Allow me. I could do that for you.
Correspondence Interruptus. Oh. Enclosed of 7 silver and my most heartfelt apologies. Oh. Okay, blame the cold ocean spray, the loss of my favourite shirt, and the bucking of the stallion. Or perhaps the strain of maintaining all such elements while sitting for a portrait where I was certainly not myself. I hope you will forgive me and not take it upon yourself to find your own determined way in this world. The rival grassman? Huh. Royal. Okay. Curious. But okay. Let's talk to you.
Good day.
Okay.
Good day, and welcome to the Spoiled Princess. Is there something I can get for you?
Where's the inn called Spoiled
My father's
Princess?
idea. He ran the inn before me, and he named it for my sister. She was his little princess. Princess decided the country was too dull for her and moved to Denerim. More glamorous, she said. Well, she was found murdered, robbed of all the trinkets my father bought her with his hard-earned money. My father died of shock and heartbreak. Mother stopped eating, and I got the struggling inn. The name stuck. That's the story.
Wow, that's,
Of course. If there's anything I can get you, just let me know.
I don't even know what to say about that, to be honest. You alright?
Leave me alone.
Oh, is this the disgruntled princess? Not the spoiled princess, sorry. Not disgruntled princess, it's you. Okay, I guess? Oh. Alright, we'll go stand by the docks. Look at the circle of the Magi. And bring to an end. Pick it apart. Alright. Is there anything? Alright. This'll do. Alright. Alright. That's it. Alright, that's our end then. See you next time.